keep in mind that this is a keyword that some units have. A good chunk of them do, but not every unit in the Codex has battle focus. And I do believe it's specifically tied to craft build units only, so Harlequins do not get battle focus.
Yeah. And battle focus is a keyword, so not every unit in the army gets it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ah, James is with us. He says he can't get on the server.
Right.
I don't know why that is.
Banned.
No idea. Not a clue, my friend. Create invite. Let me see if I can find him on my enormous list.
He's on the wrong server.
Is he?
My man's talking about the wrong server.
He's saying he can't get on only on RPK Degenerates. I don't know what that is, James. I don't know what RPK Degenerates is.
That's the old server we had on the Stood in Fire Discord. I can see him on that.
Ah.
He's all by himself on the Stood in Fire Discord.
Been taking them painkillers again. Let me. I've had a message. Let me see if it's from him. Oh, my phone won't unlock. Never mind. Let's carry on. Unless you can let me create an invite. What's his name? Mad
Migos.
No, he's not on my list. I can't invite him. Don't know what he's done.
What did he do? What did he do?
In fact, he's already on the thing.
He's on the. Yeah, I think he's just.
He's being
he's confused.
Middle-aged man. Take a picture of your face, James, and send it to me. Let me know if it's your confused face. Anyway,
yeah,
carrying on.
I'll sort him out. Don't worry.
Favored of Kane, another keyword ability. This means that a model has a 4-up influence save. It means it can only lose a maximum of 3 wounds in each phase. And it means the model can never have a relic or a warlord trait.
Yes, this keyword is specifically for the Phoenix Lords. All Phoenix Lords have the Favored of Kane keyword, which makes them very, very fucking interesting.
Yes,
and a great choice now for your armies.
And there's only a couple of Phoenix Lord, though, isn't there?
No, there's one for every aspect.
Not every aspect.
Okay, sure. So the Shining Spears don't have those.
Yeah. Strands of Fate. So you roll, I believe you roll 66, and you get to keep 4 of them in a standard 2,000 point game.
Yeah. So this is the sort of new army-wide rule. That
miracle dice, but better.
Yeah. It's awesome.
And the dice result isn't something that you keep to change a dice result to something that you roll. It simply sort of equates to what that dice can be used as an automatic 6 for. So if you roll 4d6s and you get a 1, a 4, a 5, and a 6, it means one of those dice classes as a automatic 6 on an advance or automatic 6 on a hit, wound, or saving throw. So a dice result of 1 is an advance, a dice result of 2 is a charge roll, a dice result of 3 is a psychic test, 4 is a hit roll, 5 is a wound roll, and 6 is a saving throw. And there's a couple of ways that you can get extra dice, and you can sort of re-roll them, I believe, with a few characters and bits and bobs like that, and through various stratagems. It's kind of cool. It's neat. It's like it is kind of like Miracle Dice, but better. But I'd argue that Sisters can get more Miracle Dice.
Yeah, I mean, the Eldar can do certain things to manipulate those Miracle Dice, those Strands of Fate dice.
Yeah.
They can roll some of them, but it's still pretty good, right? So dice rolls. So 1s allow you to replace an advanced roll to a 6. 2s change the charge roll. 3s change psychic tests. 4s change your hit roll. 5s change your wound roll, and 6 change your saving throw.
Yeah.
So I don't know, it's very interesting, right? I think it's pretty cool. So you got these 4 sort of re-rolls for different things that you get to use in the game.
Yeah.
And I think it's pretty dope. I love it. It's a great mechanic.
Right, let me just... you know what James could do if he was smart? He could go on to the YouTube link at the bottom of the YouTube thing and just paste in the discord.gg link and
Right.
then he would get himself re-invited to the Discord server. But I've just sent him a
I've
link anyway, because
yeah,
I can
I've
see his
just
screenshot, and I can see that he's must have left the server or deleted the server or something like that.
yeah,
Anyway, I've sent
I
him a
just
link.
invited him. So
Stratagems.
We go straight to stratagems. Oh, there's a few other things to mention there.
Yeah.
There's a few small changes, but they're pretty interesting. So, other rules that the army has is advanced position.
Oh yes, the deployment stuff.
Yes, so the advanced positions is their forward deployment standard rule, right? So certain units can be deployed outside of the deployment zone, but they have to be more than 9 inches away from other models or other enemy models and the enemy deployment zone. The models that have advanced positions, I believe, are Rangers, of course, and now the War Walkers have advanced positions rather than the weird deep strike on the edge of the board rule that they used to have. So you can no longer deep strike in enemy territory from turn 2 onwards.
Yeah.
It's okay, Grandpa's here.
Oh, you're right, Granddad.
You're on the wrong account. You've obviously created a new Discord account.
Oh yeah, he is.
You created a new Discord account, which is why you've not got the server and you've not got the Captain General. You need to log on to your other Discord account.
This is the only one that fucking Discord could find based on my phone number and my email.
Oh, well.
Oh,
You've lost all your privileges.
I'll sort it out after.
Yeah. Anyway, right. Now onto stratagems. Have you... shuriken weapons. Sorry, shuriken weapons.
Yeah, we got shuriken weapons.
It's pretty much the same as it was before, except shuriken weapons are now AP1 by default, and on a wound roll, it's AP3. So they improved
increases it by 2.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
Stratagems. It makes them vaguely useful now. In a world where AP is non-existent, for most 8th edition armies, they desperately needed a little bit of AP in a highly killy game. Yes, stratagems. The great enemy.
It's the standard fight Slanesh
against Slanesh. I thought they would get rid of this. I genuinely thought they would make an effort to get rid of any stratagem, any warlord trait, and any relic or army ability that only affects a specific opponent, because it just feels bad. Like Imperial Guard being able to get full hits and wound rerolls against chaos units is overpowered.
Yeah, it's a weird one.
But
the whole point of those is usually it's the other army also has something similar, so they kill each other better. It's whatever. It's so fucking.
I would like to see this
situation
removed from the stratagems and put in the Crusade campaign thing, because it has no purpose being in a competitive environment.
It's a weird one.
Just seems a bit unfair. Matchless Agility. Use this in your shooting phase when a unit from your army makes a battle focus move. So this is only going to be usable on stuff with the battle focus keyword. Do not roll a d6. Instead, it just is 6.
It's pretty good.
Pretty decent. It means you can fire and fade one unit and then fire and fade another unit without having to spend the stratagem twice. Gives you options. Lightning fast reactions exactly the same as it was before. I don't think the wording's changed on this at all. It's just subtract 1 from the hit roll for all attacks. It's not just
it's excluding monster units. So now it affects Siriani, Harlequins, and Inari, and it's excluding monsters. So the only things that won't be able to use lightning fast reactions are stuff like
Kane, Avatar of Kane.
Yeah, Avatar of Kane and Avatar of Iniad.
Yeah.
Or the Incarn.
Incarn. I was going to say, is the Incarn a monster? It is, isn't it?
Yeah, he's classed as a monster.
Blade Storm. Blade Storm. It just reminds me of that pet from World of Warcraft.
Yeah. It's a deceiving name. Because it has nothing to do with blades per se. It's to
It's
do with
shuriken
shuriken
weapons, isn't it? It's a shooting phase
Yeah.
stratagem. When an Assyriani or Harlequin's unit from your army is selected to shoot until the end of the phase, each time a model in that unit makes an attack with a shuriken weapon, an unmodified hit roll of 6 scores 1 additional hit. It's exploding
sixes.
Sixes.
Woo! It's pretty good. I do believe that's the one people are kind of combo the shit out of with what they called Swooping Hawks, if I'm not mistaken.
Which
Swooping
ones are the
Hawks
hawks?
have a terrifying profile. They're the winged ones, the winged boys.
Okay.
Because they have some kind of pretty nutty weapon. They will drown people in shots quite
And
easily.
paper cuts.
If I can fucking find them in the Codex. Oh, they're in the fast attack, of course. They're not going to be in the. There you go.
They're a bit like your Custodes ones, aren't they?
The hurricane bolts.
Jump back. Yeah.
Oh no, never mind. You can't. Sorry, their weapons aren't shuriken weapons.
Oh, never mind. Okay.
But they do have Swooping Hawks do have Assault 4 weapons, a 5-1/1.
Oh, nice.
Oh, they have inbuilt.
Exploding sixes.
No, they have inbuilt auto wounds
on sixes. Okay. That's
so
they
cool. Shred.
Yeah. Martial Citizenry. Use it in your shooting or your fight phase. When a Guardian's unit from your army is selected to shoot or fight until the end of the phase, each time model in that unit makes an attack, reroll, a hit roll, or 1. It's just a 1 CP reroll, hit rolls, or 1 thing. Guardians, whatever.
Nobody really runs them at the moment.
Yeah.
I don't think it's that's the still the weakest part of the Codex and the army in general is their troop choice.
Yeah. Fire and reposition. Definitely not fire and fade. This is specifically for outcasts, which I believe are the Corsairs.
Yeah, they can't fade. Craftworld copyrights and trademarked the term fade, so they have to reposition instead.
Yeah. They get the full distance for battle focus rolls, even if they're going through terrain, so they don't subtract the 3 inches. It's whatever. Avengers of Assyriani, 2 CP. Use this stratagem at the end of your shooting phase. Select 1 dire Avengers unit from your army that is below its starting strength, and that unit can shoot again. It's 2 CP.
Wow! Nobody gives a shit. Do you want to know why? Because dire Avengers are no longer a troops choice. They're in the elite slot.
Oh, yes, of course. So now no one's going to take them.
No, the elite slot is very busy. Very, very busy for Craftworld.
Yeah. Unparalleled Mastery, 1 CP. Use this stratagem at the start of the Psychic phase. Select 1 Farseer, Shadowseer, Ivrain, or the Incarn model from your army. That unit can attempt to invest 1 additional Psychic power this phase. Same as the Grey Knight stratagem. 1 CP, cast under the power. It's always good.
Yeah, usually, though, that amounts to cast Smite because of how many spells they can learn. So unless you take weird additional spells.
I mean, your boy Eldrad. Oh,
I mean, Eldrad is a Giga Chad. I think he's one of the few. I can't think of many other characters that can cast 3 spells. I think it's only him and Magnus, I believe.
I want to say Kaldor Drago.
Can he cast 3?
He can cast 2, but with his strat, he can cast 3, and he knows the Brotherhood power, 2 other spells plus Smite, so he actually knows 4.
Sure.
But yeah, that's
baseline only 2 though. Yeah. So Eldrad could cast 4 if he really wanted to. With this.
Multi-Faceted Mind. My brain has many sides. Use this stratagem in the Psychic phase. When you are after you attempt to perform a psychic action, you can attempt 1 additional psychic power. It's nice. At last,
it's very good.
At long last, somebody can do a psychic action and cast a power. It's kind of important, to be honest. Having a unit that kind of needs to cast spells but also needs to do psychic secondaries is a little bit feels bad for Grey Knights at least. So it's nice to see something.
Yeah, I mean, shit, right? For the most psychically gifted race in the universe. Galaxy, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, they better get some sweet fucking psychic phase shenanigans. And
it sets a precedent.
Yeah. Space Marines set the precedent for the whole shooting and doing an action, and it makes sense that Eldar can psychic and do an action.
Yeah. Next up,
Which means you're going to be pissed when Nids and God can do it.
No, they'll never
stop.
give it to them.
Stop, cease. Don't joke about it. It's not funny.
Just a little bit.
Next up, the Phoenix Reborn is just when one of your Phoenix Lords dies, roll a d6 on a 4-up. He comes back to life with d3 wounds.
It's
Wow.
Gulliman's ability, isn't it?
Yeah, it's nice. It's only 1 CP. Worth throwing down.
Yeah.
Especially because, like I said, the Phoenix Lords used to suck shit throughout whole of 8th edition and 9th edition. But now they're actually very, very appealing. I'm planning to run at least one at the moment. I'm planning to run Jane Czar in my army.
Can I just ask though, with that particular strat, doesn't the wording on it say that if you choose to use the strat, they don't get whatever booky thing that they normally do on death?
No.
No?
Yeah, they don't have any rules on death anyway.
It just says
don't do
it gets set up, but not within engagement range. That's it.
Yeah, standard rule.
Yeah.
Next up, Avatar Resurgent. That's the one where
when the Avatar of Kane dies, he gets to fight,
but with two extra attacks.
But only if he hasn't already fought.
Yeah. He gets to throw 2 extra attacks.
Yeah, so it's identical to Alea's ability. Her strat is she has exactly the same strat, or is it a baked-in ability in her data sheet? It might be baked into her data sheet.
I think it's
she just fights if she dies and never got a chance to fight. But this is better, but also worse because it costs 2 CP. But he gets an extra 2 attacks, which is pretty mean.
Yes,
it's painful. It can be painful.
Oh, next up, Battle Psychers. This one's an interesting one. So, when you're casting spells with Warlocks, but it has to be a unit of 4 or more Warlocks. When they try to manifest a psychic power from the Runes of Battle discipline, instead of selecting one of the effects, you can select both, so they can do both a buff and a debuff. It's interesting, but the fact that it requires a unit of 4 or more, and it's 2 CP, I don't see this one seeing too much play.
It's fluffy.
Especially because I'm sure we'll discuss it in the sort of unit review section. But Warlocks now, if you take them in a unit that's more than 1, they lose the character keyword.
Yeah.
So the second you do that, they can be shot at. So
it's bad times all around.
Hell yeah. Ooh, what we got next? Champion of
this
the
just
Eldar.
The generic add a Warlord trait.
Yeah, those.
And the treasures of the Eldarias add a relic. Same as everyone else's. You can get an extra 2 Warlord traits and an extra 2 relics.
Yeah, standard bullshit.
Yeah.
What do we care about? Was it Webway Strike? That's standard.
We got Seer Council.
Ooh, Seer Council. Select 1 Fire Seer model from your army. Select 1 Warlocks unit from your army that contains 2 or more models. While that Fire Seer model is within 6 inches to the Warlocks, add 1 to Psychic tests taken for the Fire Seer. While that Fire Seer is within 3 inches of the Warlock, enemy models cannot target the Fire Seer model.
The Warlocks basically act as bodyguards, but also buff.
Yeah.
Buff the Psychic
and
stuff.
I believe that's quite common, actually. We only see that a lot. I've seen a lot of people try to take a unit of two Warlocks. But again, that it's a tricky one because then people can target the Warlocks quite easily.
And they die pretty easily. They're the worst bodyguards ever.
Yeah, they got a 4-up inborn, right? But
yeah, I guess they're like Tau drones, but they can do psychic powers.
Yes, basically is what it boils down to.
Literally drones.
It's whatever.
Yeah.
Big points as a Warlock.
Next up.
1 second. Let me
come back to it when you go to the unit. We'll go through it on the unit profiles.
let me see if I can whip it up real fast. The answer is no.
No.
Oh, here we go. Warlock Skyrunner. No, Warlocks. 20 points a model.
Yeah, they're pretty cheap.
Okay.
And they don't do baby smites anymore.
They do proper big boy smites.
Yes.
20 points, smite. All right, okay.
Same as Nastropath. They're basically the same as Nastropath, but they don't gain the character keyword if you take any more than one. So they're very easily, popped off.
Yeah, they're a weird one. They're a weird little thing, but they're cool. I like them. I think they're worth taking.
Yeah, Webway Strike is the 1/3. It's kind of like the Adeptus Custodes from Golden they come.
Yeah,
only this is 1/3 CP, whereas the Custodes one is just a flat one.
Yeah, standard deep strike, any infantry biker units.
Yeah. Theirs is just inexplicably more expensive for some
so
reason.
it's 1 CP for 1 unit, 3 CP for 2.
Yep.
Pretty standard. I think a lot of factions have this style of shit. Some grenades. Toss some wire weave grenades.
But this is Shroud Runners, isn't it?
Yeah, no.
This is a specific Shroud Runner stratagem. It's in movement or charge. Roll a d3. Suffers a number of mortal wounds equal to the result. To a maximum of 1 mortal wound per model in that enemy unit. Subtract that result from the move characteristics. And until the end of the phase, your opponent must subtract the result from charge roll. So it's basically Tanglefoot Grenade, but it occasionally does mortal wounds. And it's unique to a model that no one's going to run. Shield Discharge. This is the fucking Wave Serpent thing, isn't it?
Yes.
Enemy unit can't... So it's 1 CP. And it's in the charge phase. Start the charge phase. Select 1 model from your unit equipped with the Serpent Shield, aka the Wave Serpent. Within 12 of that model, until end of turn, can't fire Overwatch or set to defend. And whenever they make a melee attack, subtract 1 from the hit roll. And then the Serpent Shield is consumed. It's
similar to the ability that the Wave Serpent used to have in 8th edition.
Yeah. I don't know. Subtract 1 from the hit roll's fine, but then losing your Serpent Shield for the rest of the game is a bit.
Yeah, it's whatever.
It's a last ditch attempt at being relevant before it dies. Grenade Pack. Some of these stratagems have such generic names.
Yeah.
Grenade Pack. This is for the Swooping Hawks in a movement phase. Is this when they move over a unit? They do mortals. Yes, it is. It's the same as the Drakari. You move over a unit and do mortals, but it's a maximum of 6 mortal wounds.
Yes,
and it's on a 4-up. Starhawk's missile, 1 CP. Use it in your shooting phase when the Suriani model from your army targets an aircraft unit with the Eldari missile launcher. That model can only make 1 attack with that weapon, but when resolving the attack, add 1 to the attack's hit roll, and if it hits, it automatically does 2d3 mortal wounds and no additional damage.
Wow,
it's fine.
Whatever. I mean, Eldar missile launchers is 1 shot with a big shot anyway, so it's okay.
It's a 1 CP that you're occasionally going to miss.
I mean, it's no, it's going to be hard to miss because you're going to be hitting on a 2-up.
Oh, trust me. You know those
on a 2-up.
You know those Drakari blasters you so lovingly bring in your list.
Shush! Don't be quiet now. This is gonna work.
Yeah.
Trust me.
Resonator Shard.
Of the faithful las cannon.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
good,
exactly the same as the last cannon. Yeah.
Yeah,
Fuck me. Resonator Shard. 1 CP. Use this in your shooting phase when a unit from your army contains any models equipped with a D cannon. I love me the D cannons. Doomweaver or Shadow Weaver is selected to shoot. Until the end of the phase, each time an attack is made by a model in that unit equipped with a D cannon, Doomweaver, or Shadow Weaver that targets an enemy unit within 12 of a friendly Resonator Shard unit, you can reroll a hit roll. A lot of words.
For basically saying...
Reroll the hit roll.
Only if you have a unit with a Resonator Shard next to the target.
Yes. It's
an awkward rule.
Within 12 of the target. Yeah. It's
It's not bad. I can't remember who gets Resonator Shard. Is that the Rangers, I believe? I think it might be the Rangers that get the Resonator Shard keyword.
Yeah.
I'll have to double check.
We'll find out later. Fusion charges, 1 CP. Use this in the fight phase. When a fire dragon's unit from your army is selected to fight, select one model in that unit. That model can only make one attack this phase and must target an enemy vehicle with that attack. But if a hit is scored, the vehicle suffers 2d3 mortal wounds and the attack sequence ends. Same as the missile launcher, but melee.
Wow.
You don't even get +1 to hit. Get fucked. Linked fire. This is the new fire prism stratagem that has changed slightly, I believe.
It's interesting.
It's a little bit more valid, I want to say, because you only need 2, correct?
Yes, but if you get 3, it makes it better.
Yeah, so use this stratagem at the start of your shooting phase. Select 1 fire prism model from your army, then select 1 or 2 other friendly fire prism models within 12 of and visible to that model, your friendly model, not the enemy model, which means you can hide those 2 fire prisms behind cover, and this still works until the end of until the end of the phase. Each time the first fire prism model you selected shoots using the focus lance profile of its prism cannon, it makes 2 additional attacks with that weapon for each other fire prism you selected, so it could be 4 if you selected 2. Invulnerable saves cannot be made against this weapon. And until the end of the phase, each other fire prism can't make any attacks. So you basically hide 2 fire prisms to make your main fire prism do 4 additional shots.
Up to 2 additional fire. 1 or 2 extra.
Yeah.
What it boils down to is basically, instead of shooting 2 fire prisms, you make only one of them shoot,
and it ignores invuls.
Yeah, and ignores invuls. But it's not just one of them shoots. It basically doubles up on their attacks because the focus profile is 2 shots.
Yep.
So you still get the same number of shots, but better.
For 2 CP.
It's if you for some reason are running 2 fire prisms, it's a no-brainer, and you're going to be using that every turn.
Yep. Especially against like high invuln targets.
Yeah.
What's that? You rotated ion shields? Blam. There is an excess of ignore invuln with the latest round of codexes.
Yes, they do.
They got a real hard on for hating on invulns. I think it started with the Custodes Codex.
Was it Custodes?
I think so, because the Custodes Lock Warden.
Oh yeah,
ignores
they got
invulns.
the Lock Warden, and
then it was the Tau with their big rail guns, and now it's the Eldar. Yeah. I don't think anyone else can ignore invulns.
No, I don't believe so. Believe so.
Feigned...
Oh no, Necrons do, right?
Really?
Necrons got some weird.
Are you sure?
Oh wait, no, sorry, not Necrons. Sisters can drop shields, right? They can drop invulns. Just like how, it's one of the HQs. It does basically the same thing as Null Zone for primary site.
Okay, got you. Feigned Retreat. This is 1 or 2 CP, depending on the amount of... Oh, wait, no. This has got 2 profiles, hasn't it? So use this stratagem in your movement phase. When an Assyriani, Harlequins, or Inari unit from your army falls back, you can select for that unit to be eligible to shoot this turn or eligible to discharge this turn, or both. If you select both, this stratagem costs 2 CP, otherwise it costs 1. Pretty good.
Wow.
1 CP for a fallback and charge or fallback and shoot. I'm not sure why you'd want to do both. Is there a unit that you'd want to do both with?
Fallback, shoot and charge. Yeah.
Fusion pistol, guys?
Sorry, does that strat mention infantry specifically?
No, just unit.
Yeah, so this is the one that you would use on bikes, for example.
Ah, yes.
Because I do believe, if I'm not mistaken, the troops can already fall back and shoot and charge.
Yeah,
basically.
Forewarned, 2 CP. Use it at the end of the reinforcement step of your opponent's movement phase. Select 1 Craftworld unit that is within 12 inches of a friendly Farseer. That unit can shoot as if it were your shooting phase, but its models can only target a single eligible enemy unit that was set up in the reinforcements this turn within 18. It's all spec scan. with extra words. It's
Yeah.
4-spec scan that costs more, I think. And you have to be within 12 of a Farseer.
Yeah,
Kind of odd.
it's a what?
The Tears of Isha, 1 or 2 CP.
The heal one.
Yep. Use it in your
Yes.
command phase. Select one Wraith construct, and it regains D3 lost wounds. If it's within 6 inches of a Spirit Seer, that model gains 3 lost wounds instead. If it's Titanic, it costs 2 CP. If it's not, then it only costs 1. It's fine. It's okay. If it's the difference between your Wraith Knight fighting on top bracket and mid bracket, I guess it's worth it.
Yeah.
Fire and Fade, I don't think this has changed, other than you can't embark in a transport. Am I correct?
Yeah, I do believe so. Yes.
Yeah, just move 7 after shooting, immediately after shooting, and that's that. Was it 2 CP before? It was, wasn't it?
No, I believe Fire and Fade was 1 CP.
Oh, so it's gone up in cost. Phantasm. This is 2 CP. Use this stratagem at the start of the first battle round before the first turn begins. Select up to 3 Asuryani Harlequins or Inari units, not infantry, just any units. It excludes Titanic units, though. And redeploy them. Just,
wow.
Yeah. This existed before, I believe. Eldritch Storm. This is the
peculiar one.
Yes. This is the only good artillery stratagem in the game, because this one happens at the end of your turn, I believe. So, use this stratagem in your command phase if a Farseer model from your army is on the battlefield. Select 1 point on the battlefield within 24 inches of a Farseer model from your army and place a marker on that point. In your next psychic phase, so this happens before your opponent gets to move, Farseer models from your army that are within 24 inches of that marker can perform the following psychic action. Warp Charge 5. Any number of Farseer models from your army can attempt to perform this psychic action. At the start of your next shooting phase, so again, your opponent doesn't get to move, roll 1d6 for each unit within 6 inches of the center of the marker you placed, subtracting 2 if the unit being rolled for is an infantry character unit. On a 2+, that unit suffers D3 mortal wounds, and an additional 1 mortal wound for each time the Empower psychic action was successfully completed this turn. That marker is then removed. You can only use it once.
It's okay.
You're kind of wasting a lot of psychic powers that you would otherwise be doing other stuff on for D3 plus 1 more wounds.
Not to mention it's 3 CP.
3 CP, yeah.
It's a weird one.
And it has to be done with Farseer models as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's on a 4-up for character infantry as well. So that's just... right, Craft World specifics. Warlord traits. So this is the list of generic Warlord traits. You've got the Asuryani ones, which is Ambush of Blades. In your command phase, select 1 core or character unit within 9 inches. Whenever they make a melee attack, it gets an extra AP of 1. Not sure if you'll really need this. What's the AP on Banshees? -3?
Yeah, they already have -3.
Yeah. Wraith Knights? Not Wraith Knights.
The Wraith Blades already have some pretty decent AP. It's whatever. The thing is, like, it's a weird one because it's one that you'd probably put on what? It doesn't have a limitation.
No.
It feels like it's one you'd mainly want on an Autarch. And I don't think Autarchs are still very good at the moment. I don't see many people running Autarchs.
No.
But we'll discuss them when we get to the units themselves.
Walker of Many Paths. Once per turn, you can reroll 1 hit roll or 1 rune roll or 1 damage roll made for this Warlord, which is same as the Custodes old one. So.
Yeah, it's whatever. It's interesting that lets you reroll damage rolls.
Yeah. Falcon's Swiftness. Add 2 inches to its move characteristic. It can ignore the effects of difficult ground terrain, and each time it makes a battle-focused move, do not roll a dice. It's automatically 6 inches, which is fine.
Wow! It's okay.
It's some movement. Fate's Messenger. Once per turn, when a saving throw made for this warlord is failed, you can change the damage to 0. Identical to the Tau doodad.
Yeah.
Mark of Incompatible Hunter. Each time it makes a ranged attack, add 1 to the strength, and an unmodified wound roll of 6 inflicts 1 mortal wound.
Wow.
Whatever.
Wow.
Seer of the Shifting Vector. While it's on the battlefield, each time your opponent spends any command points, roll a d6, and on a 6 you gain 1. It's worse than everyone else's.
Wow.
Literally
Yeah, the
worse
Warlord Traits
than everyone else's.
The Warlord Traits are dog shit.
Yeah, they're all really bland and boring. They don't affect the game in any grand way.
No.
They're very
they're
singular.
pretty,
Harlequin ones, favor of Cigaretti.
Cigaretti.
Once per turn, when you make a hit roll, wound roll, or saving throw, you can treat the result as an unmodified roll of 6 instead. Kind of fun.
Wow.
Fractal,
Yeah, it's pretty good, actually.
Fractal Storm. Each time an attack is made against this warlord, they can't reroll the hit roll, wound roll, or damage roll. It's fine, but again, it's only on one character, so all these things are very singular.
Yeah.
A Foot in the Future. Sounds like a bad advert for Apple. Each time this warlord advances, do not make an advance roll. Instead, use D3 plus 3. I'll add D3 plus 3 to the move characteristic. Sorry. So it gets its standard advance roll plus D3 plus 3. So it's just a slightly more reliable advance.
The next part is very interesting.
Yes. Each time you make a charge roll, add 6. He's fast as fuck.
It's basically guarantees you charges.
The man is a prismatic blur, one might say.
Ooh, Blitz? Is it a Blitz? I don't know. Yeah. It's pretty interesting, right? All of a sudden you can make kind of 12-inch charges quite easily.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's whatever.
Yeah, generic relics. We've got some shit. Kernau's bow replaces a shuriken pistol.
Bow.
He literally replaces his pistol with a bow. It's 18-inch, pistol 3, strength 5, and if it successfully wounds, it inflicts 1 mortal wound.
Yeah, so it doesn't. It's mortal wounds on a pistol.
Yeah, it's just
whatever.
It's just a mortal wound pistol. No AP, no damage. It's just if it wounds, it does a mortal.
Wow.
Phoenix Gem. I believe this one is actually vaguely okay. The first time the bearer is destroyed, roll 1d6 on a 2+, keep it to one side. At the end of the current phase, set the bearer back up again as close as possible to its previous position and not within engagement range of any enemy models with D3 wounds remaining. It's just to bring a character back to life, basically. Instead of spending that CP, and it goes off on a 2-up instead of a 4-up. Shard of Anaris. Replace a Banshee Blade or a Starglaive with a Strength +1, AP -3, 1 damage. So it's exactly the fucking same. But each time it fights, it makes D3 +3 additional attack. So it's a shitload of extra attacks.
Pretty spicy.
Real nice. This I believe is going to get used forever. A guy's wing.
Foul, choose wing.
Yeah.
Just one wing, not both. That'd be OP.
The bearer gets the move characteristics of 12 and gains the fly keyword. At the end of your movement phase, select one enemy unit within the bearer that the bearer moved over. Roll 1d6 on a 2+, they suffer D3 more wounds.
Not being given to anybody.
A Suriani infantry model only.
Yeah. That would go on like something like again, a lot of these feel like tailored towards the
autarch.
The autarch.
Yep.
Yeah.
100%. Fire Saber. Banshee Blade or Starglaive only. Oh, it's another fucking Banshee Blade, the relic. This is in a beefier profile. Strength +3, so strength 6.
5. No, 6, sorry.
Yeah,
6.
AP4, 2 damage. Each time it's unmodified hit roll of 6. Hit roll, not wound roll. It inflicts a mortal wound in addition, so that it doesn't cause the attack sequence to end, which most of the other stuff tends to. It's just a beefed up sword.
Yes, pretty good.
Sunstorm. This, I think, is also going to get seen in every single list ever.
It's very interesting.
This replaces an an Asuryani biker. I was about to say Autark, but it's basically going to be put on an Autark biker.
It's for bikers only.
Yeah. The bearer has a move characteristic of 20 inches, and they have obsec. This guy's going to be a pain in the dick.
Hey man, listen, you don't understand.
He's going to be the bike captain of yesteryear, because the bike captains for Custodes no longer have obsec. This guy got it now.
No matter how fast you run, Nathan, you can never outrun your shadow. Facts.
Can't outrun the pain.
You can't.
It's probably one of the best relics in the book.
It's pretty bananas.
Yeah.
It's pretty bananas.
Aegis of Eldanish, Autark only. Oh my god, what are the odds? The save characteristic of 2+, and each time an attack is allocated to the bearer, -1 from the attack's damage characteristics. It's the it's the Orc Beasthide Mantle, whatever it's called. Enjoy. Weeping Stones, cry every time. Asuryani Psyker model only. While the bearer is on the battlefield, each time you make a Strands of Fate roll, you can roll 1 additional d6. Sorry. So you roll 7 dice instead of 6.
Busted.
But you don't get to keep it. You only get to keep 4. So it's not like you get an extra.
No, it's just an extra.
Yeah. The Avenging Blade for Dire Avengers. It's a Dire Avenger relic, so we don't care. Dragon's Fury, Fire Dragon. This is actually not good. Each time the bearer's unit is selected as the target of a charge, subtract 2 from the charge roll.
Oh, you don't charge your.
Yeah.
I mean, it's whatever.
Yeah. Shadow Sting replaces a striking Scorpion Exarch melee. It's extra attacks, strength 6 -2/2, whatever.
Pretty good.
Crone Scream. I have this one. I remember for some reason. I can't remember if it's good or not. This is for the Howling Banshee Exarch. Once per battle at the start of the fight phase, you can select 1 enemy unit within engagement range of the bearer and roll 1d6 on a 2+ that enemy suffers D3 mortal wounds, and an additional 1 mortal wound for each charge move the bearer has made during the battle.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's going to be like mid-game, end of game.
Yes, if they're still alive.
Can you imagine if... Right, okay, so scenario. The game we played the other day, and you fed Banshees, guardsmen, like you did to the Custodes, and then she's just going to wreck whatever she hits next.
But it's only once per game. That's my issue with this, is it's only once per game.
Is it specifically charge... Right,
Yes.
is it
No
charge moves?
Oh yeah. It doesn't matter. You still use it. You still only use it at the start. It's whatever. Right? It's D3 mortal wounds on the charge. It's fine.
Yeah.
Is it worth the 1 CP? Probably not.
No. Phoenix Plume. The bearer has a 4-up invuln save. This is for the Swooping Hawks. And each time they're modeling, the bearer's unit would lose a wound on 5+. The wound is not lost. Actually, kind of cool.
It's a weird one, right? It's, do you want to sacrifice your Exarch there?
Yeah.
It's interesting.
It's you get a 5-up feel no pain, but the invuln is only on your Exarch. So do you want to sacrifice the Exarch to maybe make a save, or do you want to try and keep that 5-up feel no pain? It's 50-50. Spider's Bite, Warp Spider Exarch model. With power blades only, of course. This is just a relic shitty weapon. Each time a wound roll of 6, it's damage of 3.
Yeah, the Warp Spider Exarch for some reason has weird spider stabby weapons. Go figure.
Kane's Lance. This is for the Shining Spear Exarch. Each time they finish a charge move, select 1 enemy unit with engagement range on a d6. Roll a d6 on a 4+. They suffer d3 mortal wounds, and they're not eligible. It's fight last. This is way better than Crone Scream.
Yeah, it's Kane's Lance is very good.
It's not once per game. It's every time they charge. It's mortal wounds, granted only on a 4-up, but it's a fight last in a game where fight last is critical. This is actually pretty nice.
Has there been anything that you've talked about so far that hasn't been D3+3 in relation to mortal wounds?
Yeah. There's a lot of D3 mortal wound stuff in this book. Shrine Skull. Dark Reaper only, with the Reaper Launcher Exarch. If an enemy unit has any models destroyed by an attack made by the bearer until the end of the turn, subtract 1 from combat or whatever.
Ah, nobody gives a shit. Psychic powers.
Psychic. These are the generic psychic powers. The runes of fate. Guide is the same, I think. Let me just read it. Unit within 8 inches of the Psyker. Until the start of your next Psychic phase, each time a model in that unit makes an attack, you can reroll the hit roll. Yep, exactly the same. If the Psychic test was 10 or more, you can select one friendly or craft world within 24 inches. Okay, so it's got a super guide on a 10+.
Yes,
that just increases
right.
the range by 6 inches, whatever. Doom. This has changed, I believe. It has a warp charge of 7. If manifested, select one enemy unit within 18 inches of the Psyker. Until the start of your next Psychic phase, each time a craft world or core or character makes an attack that targets that enemy, you can reroll the wound roll. If the result of the Psychic test is a 10 or more, add an extra 24 inches.
Yeah, it's the same. The difference is now it specifies core
or character.
So it's not as still useful, but not as great.
Fortune, I don't think this has changed. Again, core or character within 18 inches. Until your next psychic phase, each time a model in that unit would lose a wound on a 5-up, it's not lost. If it's a 10 or more, then you add for 6 inches. Execution, I'm pretty sure is the same as it was before. It's within 18 inches, D3 mortal wounds. If they were destroyed, if any models are destroyed as a result of that attack, roll an additional D3. On 10+, it's an extra 6 inches. This next one is fucking bananas. Will of Asurion. This is insane. Warp charge value of 6, core or character within 18 inches. Until the start of your next psychic phase, the unit gains the objective secured ability. Each time a morale is taken, it's automatically passed, and if it's performing an action, it can still make attacks with ranged weapons.
Wow.
Pretty fucking good. It's going to be taken in every list. Because
hell yeah, brother.
Mind War. If manifested, select one enemy character within 18 inches of the Psyker, roll a d6 and add the Psyker's leadership characteristic to the result of your roll. The opponent then rolls 1d6 and adds their leadership. If your total is greater, then the enemy suffers mortal wounds equal to the difference. If the result of the psychic test was 10 or more, you can roll 2d3 instead of 1d6 and add the result to the leadership characteristics of the Psyker. So it's just a battle of wills.
Wow. That means never a huge fan of these kinds because you have to pass them that test, pass the psychic test, and then it still has a chance of doing fuck all. So it's whatever.
More psychic powers. There's one that has a warp charge value of 6, and you gain a command point. This is Runes of Fortune psychic stuff. This is Fateful Divergence as the Runes of Fortune discipline. Witch Strike, charge value of 5. Select one model in this psychic unit. If it's an Anrath unit, you must select its Wayseeker model until the start.
Anrath are the
Oh, okay. Until the start of your next psychic phase, each time the selected model makes a melee attack, if the attack successfully wounds, it inflicts one mortal wound, and the attack sequence ends. It's just,
it's pretty. It's not bad.
Yeah.
But it's at the same time, it's only the Psyker. Is your Psyker gonna go in and start slapping things with his sword? Probably not. With their 2-3 attacks.
Yeah.
It's whatever.
Ghost Walk. Warp charge value of 5. Select one friendly core or character unit within 12 of the Psyker until your next psychic phase. Add 2 to the charge rolls. That's all right.
That's pretty good. Yeah, it's the same as it used to be. But again, a lot of these psychic powers now specify core.
Yeah.
So.
Crushing Orb. Charge value of 6. One enemy unit within 18 inches and visible. Roll 3d6, adding 2 to each result if the enemy unit is a vehicle or monster. Or it contains 6 or more models. For each 4+, they suffer 1 mortal wound.
Fucking pointless.
Wait, it's only 3d6. Okay. Right.
It's whatever.
There's better stuff.
It's meh.
Focus Will, warp charge value of 6. If manifested, select one friendly character. One friendly Psyker. within 24 inches of this Psyker. Until the start of your next psychic phase, add 2 to psychic tests and deny the witches.
Okay.
You're spending a psychic power to make another Psyker's psychic power go off.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Yeah. Impair senses, warp charge value of 6. If manifested, select one enemy unit within 18 and visible. Until the start of your next psychic phase, that enemy unit cannot be affected by or abilities of units from your opponent's army.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that can be useful.
Revenant discipline. So we've got Gaze of Enid, whatever you want to call it.
Enid.
The
Gaze.
Warp charge value of 6. If manifested, select one enemy unit within 18 inches of this Psyker, roll a d6, subtracting 2 from the result if it has a starting strength of 1. On a 1 or less, the unit suffers 1 mortal wound. On a 2 to 5, it suffers d3. On a 6, it suffers d6. That seems...
Okay.
Yeah, so...
It's weird wording
yeah,
again.
very odd wording. So it's basically you want to use it on vehicles? Yeah.
No, you want to use it on big units.
Big units. You get either
Oh, wait, no,
6 or 6.
subtract 1 from the roll if it's got 1 or... Okay, yeah, you want to use it on big units. Fucking hell.
Yeah, it's weird wording
Oh,
to say.
God. That's not good at all. Storm of Whispers. Warp charge value of 6. If manifested, roll 3d6 for each enemy unit within 9 inches. For each 4 plus the enemy unit being rolled for suffers 1 mortal wound. Word of
It's
the
not bad.
Phoenix. Warp charge value of 6. Select one friendly Inari infantry unit excluding Wraith constructs within 6 inches of the Psyker. One of that unit's destroyed models, or D3, if its destroyed models had the troops battlefield roll, can be added back to that unit with full wounds remaining. These models can only be set up within engagement range of enemy units that are already within engagement range.
Wow, if only the troops didn't suck shit.
I was going to say, the fact that it excludes Wraith constructs is mighty painful, because the only ones you really want to use this on is Wraith.
Yeah, I mean,
Wraith
depends,
Guard.
right? It's Inari, so you could argue you can use it on witches, but witches
Yeah.
are quite pricey right now. It's okay.
Yeah. Unbind Souls, warp charge value of 6. If manifested, select one enemy unit within 18 inches. Each time an Inari model makes a melee attack that targets the enemy unit, an unmodified 6 roll automatically wounds. It's fine.
It's great.
Shield of Iniad, warp charge value of 6. If manifested, select one friendly Inari unit, excluding Titanic, within 12 inches of the Psyker. Until the start of your next psychic phase, it gets a 4 pinball save. Oh, you only select one. It's a higher invuln, but you only select one, so it's sort of a 50-50 between Psychic Fortress. Ancestor's Grace, warp charge value of 7. Select one Inari unit within 18 inches of Psyker. Until the end of your start of your next Psychic phase, each time a model in that unit makes a melee attack, add 1 to the wound roll.
Pretty good.
No, it's actually alright. Do we want to cover Exarch powers?
I mean, we can. I think we can cover. We spent too much time reading. I think psychic powers.
Yeah.
Exarch powers are purchasable upgrades for the exarchs of each of the aspect warriors or the units.
Is there any really good ones?
Yeah. I mean, they will have some decent ones. Crimson Hunters.
There's like one good one in each.
Yeah.
Let's see the good ones.
These are specifically for the Exarchs though, not for the entire squad, and they're kind of expensive, like really expensive.
Some of them do affect the whole unit.
Yeah.
So like Heart Strike is pretty good for the Shining Spears, right? Unmodified wound rolls of 5 with the Exarch adds
mortal wound in addition.
Mortal wounds.
Howling Banshees.
I believe
they have a 4 pinball against melee. Graceful Avoidance, yeah.
Yeah, that one's really good.
That one's really nice. Dire Avengers, the I think it's is it Shredding Fire? Yes, so Shredding Fire makes a shuriken and ability proc on a 5 instead of a 6, so an extra 2 AP.
Yeah.
The warp spiders, I think surprise assault.
Yeah, the one that it gives them an additional attack with a web spinner, isn't it?
Yes, gives
And
everyone an
they
additional
pop
attack, which
out.
is many,
Yeah.
many shots. Striking scorpions. These guys do have a good one. Is it Deadly Ambush or is it Scorpion Sting?
I think it's Scorpion Sting. It's the one that gives them mortal wounds on a 5-up.
Each time the bearer makes a melee attack that targets a non-vehicle unmodified wound roll of 5+, inflicts 1 mortal wound in addition to any normal damage. Yeah.
Yes,
And Dark Reapers, the only one you really want to take is the not suffering penalties to hit rolls.
Right.
Because they now suffer penalty to hit rolls when they move, which they didn't before. So you take that to make them exactly the same as they were before, but you just generally don't take Dark Reapers because they're kind of shit.
No, they've gimped them a little bit, and they're not as good. But between them getting nerfed and the Night Spinners getting buffed, Night Spinners are pretty solid.
Just going to be taken instead of.
Let's hit the craft worlds real quick. So the 3 attributes of a Latok who are pretty fucking good as far as the Codex.
Yeah, Latok are good.
Yeah, they're fantastic. Each time a ranged attack is made, if it's more than 12 inches away, they gain light cover. Each time a ranged attack is made against infantry or bikers that are entirely within a terrain feature, if they're more than 12 inches away, then it's treated as having the benefit of dense cover, so -1 to hit. And you can ignore all modifiers to the move characteristic of infantry units with this attribute, and you can ignore any or all modifiers to advance rolls for such units as well. Really fucking good.
It's pretty good. It's a good start.
Yeah.
But that's not all.
They have a lot of other shit. It gets out of hand, very out of hand. Master of Ambush is their Warlord trait. Select 1 infantry core unit within 9 inches of that Warlord. It can still shoot and do actions. And also, at the start of the battle round before the first turn, if it's on the battlefield, you can select 1 of the friendly Rangers unit on the battlefield, which everyone's going to be running. Remove it from the battlefield and set it up anywhere on the battlefield that is more than 9 inches away from enemy models, enemy deployment zone and enemy models, and the generic if both players have the redeploy stuff. So it's a 2-part Warlord trait, which is actually quite good, very helpful. They also have a Relic, which is for an infantry model only. While they're receiving the benefits of cover, they cannot be selected as a target of a ranged attack unless it's the closest eligible target and within 12 inches. So it's the GSC bullshit.
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah. Ulthway.
That's the one we care about. That's the busted one.
Yeah, this is
it's got 4
insane
attributes.
One. Yeah, for some reason, this keeps happening every codex. They give one fucking guy more traits. So each time they're selected to shoot or fight, you can reroll 1 wound roll when resolving that unit's attacks. All right. Each time you take a psychic test, the first psychic test gets added 1 added to the result for the turn.
Crazy good.
Everybody have a 6-up invuln.
Crazy good.
Yep. Each time a model with this attribute loses a wound that's a mortal wound on a 5-up is not lost. They're literally Emperor's Chosen light.
Yeah, no, it's a lot of good shit.
Yeah. There. The Warlord trait is you get to keep an additional Strands of Fate dice.
Fucking crazy.
Their Relic lets them know an additional psychic power, and on an unmodified result of 9+, the power can't be denied. Absolutely fantastic all over.
Yeah, it's crazy. The fact that you get an additional, they're the only ones that get the additional Strands of Fate dice.
Yeah.
It's just, okay.
Their stratagem is sucks dick, whatever. Sime Harm. These are the dudes that are supposed to be fast as fuck and highly light mobile.
Yes.
Kind of not good. Reroll charge rolls for units with this attribute, whatever. And they can declare a charge and fall back. So Solar Watch trait.
Wow. It's
whatever. Warlord trait, add 1 to the Warlord's attack characteristic, and it can perform a heroic intervention 6 inches horizontally and 5 inches vertically. And that's it. Relic is each time they make a melee attack, if they made a charge or heroically intervened, add 1 to the strength and damage, and improve the AP by 1. Whatever. Stratagem.
Iandin. It's pretty cool. Oh,
Yeah.
sorry, Karen. Right.
Stratagem is select 1 biker unit from your army, and it can charge and advance and charge.
Yeah. It's pretty.
Iandin.
Hey, what if? What if?
Sorry, I've just read this for the first time. I'm getting flashbacks from the fucking 7th edition Chaos Space Marine Codex. Each time a combat attrition test is taken with this unit, add 1 to the combat attrition test. Ooh.
That's irrelevant. Read the next one.
Spicy. Each time an attack is allocated to a model with this attribute, if the attack has an armor penetration characteristic of -1 or -2, worsen the armor penetration characteristic of that attack by 1. Okay,
Good.
so they're salamanders.
But better.
Yeah, they're salamanders, but better, and they have a trait that's shit. Right. And a warlord trait that is literally superior creation. Have they just copied the fucking Custodes Codex at every turn? Right. Relic. Okay, select 1 spirit host unit within 9 inches of the bearer, add 1 to the attacks. If it's a Wraith Guard unit, it gains battle focus. It makes Wraith Guard a bit more mobile.
That one's very good.
Yeah.
That one's generally pretty decent. Wraith Guard. Wraith Scythe is whatever. He gives the reroll wounds.
Yeah.
The Wraith Scythe gives reroll wounds to any unit on any Wraith unit. It's okay.
Bieltan, the BLT.
BLT.
Each time they advance or make a battle focus move, it's minimum 3. Each time they are selected to shoot or fight, you can reroll 1 hit roll. So it's the mirror of the first one. I forget their name.
Ulthway.
Warlord trait is select 1 friendly core unit within 6 until the end of the turn. That model every time that model makes an attack, you can reroll a hit roll. Full hit rerolls. So it's literally Chapter Master.
Yeah.
Relic, Psyker only. The bearer knows 1 additional psychic power, and you can reroll 1 psychic test, which is it's all right. It's fine. And the stratagem is for the shooting phase or the fight phase. When a aspect warrior unit from your army is selected to shoot or fight till the end of the phase, each time a model in that unit makes an attack, an unmodified hit roll of 6 scores 1 additional hit. Exploding hits for aspect warriors.
Yes. It's Bieltan and Ulthway, I think, are the main. Main people.
And then you got a shitload of custom craft worlds, which I'm not going into. It's just an assortment.
The same as last time. Yeah, nothing crazy.
They have their own secondaries, which again are about as uninteresting as Custodes. I'm not convinced anyone's going to use these, but I'll go through them anyway. So their Warpcraft 1 is Warp Charge of 4. 1 psychic unit from your army can attempt to perform this psychic action in your psychic phase if it's within range of an objective marker that has not yet been scribed by your army. If it's successfully completed, select 1 unscribed objective marker that psyker is within range of. That objective marker is said to have been scribed, blah, 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 blah. Warp charge value of this psychic action is increased by 1 for your army for the remainder of the battle. So it gets harder the more times you do it, and you only score 3 victory points from it.
So you have to scribe every objective. It's whatever. It's meh.
It's kind of hard to do. It's literally worse than the Grey Knights one in every way.
Yeah, and you can only do one. So you're still better off picking Psychic Interrogation.
Yep. No Mercy, no Respite. Score 1 victory point at the end of the battle round if 1 or more enemy units were destroyed by a melee attack by an Aztec warrior, ranged attack by an Aspect warrior, and then 2 points if enemy units were destroyed by a melee attack made by an Aspect warrior from your army this battle round, and 1 on... Wait, what?
So basically, you get 1 for killing them with melee or ranged, and 2 if you kill a unit with melee
Both.
and a unit with
ranged.
It's shit.
Yes. Shadow Operations, scout the enemy. It's a scout action. 1 unit from your army can start to perform this action at the end of your movement phase if it's not within 6 inches of your deployment zone. The unit performing this action is if the unit is performing this action is a ranger's unit, it is completed at the end of the turn Otherwise, it's completed at the start of your next turn. Bullshit. When it's completed, score 2 victory points if the unit is wholly within your opponent's deployment zone. Score 4 victory points if they are wholly within your opponent. Wait. Oh, it's 2 if they're not within the deployment zone of the opponent, or score if they are. 4 if they are. Fuck, I can't talk. I'm having a strunk. It's kind of shit. I'll be honest.
Hold on. Yeah, it's not as bad as you think.
2 points a turn
Yeah, because you have
for a ranged unit to sit in the middle of the field and not die.
I mean, that's what they're there for in a way. Like, because they don't really do anything else. They don't do damage. They just kind of, it's okay. It's not the worst thing in the world.
I feel like Rod is way more reliable because you only have to do it 4 times to get 12 points instead of 5 times for 10.
Yeah, but if you deep strike a model,
I guess
it's whatever. It's
Battlefield Supremacy. The hidden path is the progressive objective name. When you select the secondary objective and your army contains a webweight gate unit, that unit cannot be set up within 6 inches of your deployment zone. If your army does not contain a webweight gate unit in your first command phase, select one objective marker that is not within 6 inches of your deployment zone. At the end of each of your command phases, if your army includes a webweight gate unit, score a number of victory points equal to the current battle round number of a unit from your army. If they're within 3 inches of that webway gate. Fuck me. This is the most complicatedly described secondary ever. If you have a gateway, then you score victory points equal to the current battle round number.
If you have stuff with, like,
if stuff is within it.
Yeah, it's just a weird wording.
Yeah. It's dreadfully complicated.
Yeah.
For 1, 3, 6, 10. Okay, so you can max it out.
You can max it out by It's whatever. It's, again, are you gonna pick it? Because keep in mind you can only pick one of these.
Yeah.
And probably the one you're gonna pick is maybe Scout, but because the other ones are whatever. The Warcraft one, you're better off picking.
Dan, do you want to go through the?
I can quickly give people a rundown
of
the
sheets while I go pee.
Yeah, I'll quickly go through these and which ones are had any changes or are of any interest. I think we briefly mentioned Autarchs. Autarchs get a new ability now, which is quite interesting. And their ability is called... where is it? Supportive... it's their strategist one. Basically, they get to reroll they get to use the reroll command stratagem twice. So that's pretty useful, I guess. Rolling 2 dice a turn per phase rather than once.
What is this, to recover your CP? Do you mean?
No. It's literally the reroll stratagem. So when you reroll dice, they get to do it twice rather than once.
I'm Pakistan.
So that's their thing. Is that worth bringing them in your armies over Farseers and Warlocks / Phoenix Lords? Probably not. In terms of the Phoenix Lords themselves, there's a lot of very interesting choices, right? So all of the Phoenix Lords now have an aura that gives their sort of respective aspect warriors +2 to their leadership and obsec. So that by itself is sort of makes them pretty useful.
Some of them models are dog shit.
Yeah, they still got the old models, and keep in mind that they still have the that rule where they have a 4-up invuln and can't take more than half of their HP. And
I think Jane Czar and Fuegan. There's
a bunch of them that are really good. Asumen still has a 3-up invuln, which is quite interesting. But he doesn't do much else. He's got a interesting shuriken weapon, right? A 4-2/2 assault 6. He's whatever. Baharoth, the winged boy, is okay. He still does street. No, they're not Forge World. They're just shitty fine guests. The ones of interest are Karandras.
He's the striking scorpion dude.
Yes, absolutely. He's got, each time a melee attack is made by this model, an unmodified hit roll of 6 scores an additional attack. And Shadowhunter, which is
2 to leadership,
yeah,
and they gain obsec.
And he gets advanced positions as well, so you can deep strike him. But yes, striking scorpions in general pretty good, and Karandras has pretty solid weapons. Who else is good? Fugan is pretty interesting, right? He's got a hell of a mean melter.
Yeah, he's real tasty.
Was it 18-inch assault 1 at strength 10, AP -4, D6 +4 damage, right? And he gets to reroll.
And if he's lost any wounds, add 1 to the strength and attack characteristics.
But that's only in melee.
No. Oh wait.
Strength and his attacks. That's the first.
Yes. Yeah.
Baseline. What's interesting about him, and he's the only one that is strength and toughness 5.
Yeah. He's a thick daddy.
But it's interesting because he's got a very mean melter and a pretty decent weapon, right? He's got 6 attacks at strength 5, AP -4, flat 3 damage.
Yep.
So he bonks pretty hard, and against vehicles and monsters, he gets to reroll wound rolls of 1.
Or it could be 7 attacks at strength 6 -4, 3 damage if he's taken a wound. He's scary.
It's pretty mean. Yeah, he hits pretty hard, but he's quite expensive. I think he's the most expensive out of all of them. Jane Zara is fantastic. Looking forward to trying her out. So, on top of having a pretty mean just profile, right? Either 6 attacks at strength 6 -3, 2, or 12 attacks at 4 -3, 1. I'll take that. That's pretty good. What's she do? On charge.
Can't overwatch or set to defend.
Yeah, on charge they can't overwatch, can't set to defend. They fight blast, and it's -1
attacks as well.
So she's pretty debilitating
and you're always going to take Banshees in an Eldar list these days.
Yeah, I mean, Banshees are pretty good. Some people prefer more Banshees. Some people prefer striking Scorpions. Yeah. What else is interesting? Spirit Seer is pretty much no, it's not the same. He now re-rolls wound rolls of 1 for...
He's a lieutenant.
Spirit Host, but only core Spirit Host unit. So you can't re-roll them for the big lads, the Wraith. It's whatever. He is still a Psyker, and he can choose psychic powers from both schools.
Yeah,
which is pretty good.
Eldrad's a Chad. 4 up in He's got built-in transhuman. He never suffers perils. He gets his fancy Strands of Fate thing. Each Farseer in the army, and not within engagement range of enemy units, you get to reroll that many of your Fate dice. You can reroll his psychic tests, all of them.
Yeah.
For nothing. And he can manifest 3 powers.
Yeah, on top of manifesting 3 powers.
And he knows 3 as well as Smite.
Yeah, he's pretty bananas. He's
Giga Chad.
Super good. And he's got the weird staff that always wounds on a 2-up. Okay. Why not? Farseers. So all Farseers have the runes of the Farseer ability, which lets them do the weird fucking ability with the runes of fate dice.
Eldrad's going to be an auto take. He's not faction specific, is he?
Absolutely, he is.
Yeah,
he is. locked to Oathway specifically.
Most people are probably going to run either Orthway or fuck me. Why is it so hard to remember these goddamn names?
BLTAN.
BLTAN, that's it.
Real-time.
BLT.
The BOT.
BLT.
Any other HQs of like we discussed the Autark already, right? He gets
Yeah.
We got the new Autark. There's two Autarks now.
The Autark who you can't build him
Like
with
on
the weapons that are on the cover of the book.
Yeah. He's pretty interesting, right? He still maintained all of the many choices of war gear. Yeah.
Many choices of war gear that you don't get in his new kit. So you either have to buy one kit or the other, and like I said, you can't build him the way they've painted him on the art of the book.
Yeah, there's weird restrictions in that perspective.
They're just fucking
Can you not give him that
stupid.
relic though?
Yeah.
That allows the stupid movement.
Yeah.
The other
Right.
HQ of note is, of course, the revitalized avatar of Kane. He's a fucking beast now. 14 wounds, half damage, 4 up inborn, crazy damage profile. Just fucking awesome. He's gonna wreck
He's
pretty
like a
again.
Rick and Morty fan when McDonald's was doing the Szechuan sauce.
Yes.
And he didn't get his Szechuan sauce, so he's going to jump on the counter and stomp all day until he gets his Szechuan sauce. And then when he dies, he's going to start screaming about getting his Szechuan sauce again.
Yes. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty fucking good. In terms of troops, troops still suck shit. Except for Rangers,
which are ludicrously expensive.
I mean, they still suck shit, but they get to 4 deploys.
Yeah.
So it's
And
whatever.
Corsair Void Reavers, the cheapest troops in the Codex, don't count towards your troops battlefield roll, so get fucked.
Yeah. Unless you specifically take them as a fucking Corsair's detachment, and to do that, you have to take specifically Prince Irel.
Yeah.
It's dog shit. Nobody cares.
Dire Avengers eat shit, basically.
They're whatever, right? They're interesting in the sense that they do have 3 shots of 4-2-1.
Yeah.
With the shuriken rule, and if one of them dies, you can shoot again. So I don't know. Like if you take them in a big unit, maybe they'll do something. But it's whatever.
Fire Dragon's got to glow up.
Fire Dragons are really good. They just got really fucking mean melters.
Yeah.
Right.
Bring them in with a webway gate and start blasting.
Yeah. So 9 inches assault 1, 9 minus 4 d6 plus 2, and the big boy fire pike for the Exarch is d6
18
plus
inches.
4. Yeah. A d6 plus 4. Huge damage, and they get the weird
reroll wound rolls of 1 versus vehicles and monsters, and they
Yeah.
obviously have all the battle focus, strands of fate, and aspect armor.
Yeah, aspect armor is something that all aspect warriors have. Is basically just
Inborn.
straight up 5 up inborn, which is pretty good. Howling Banshees, Papa Bless.
Oh yes,
they're
my
awesome.
favorite model since forever.
So yeah, when they can advance and charge. On the charge, the opponent can't fire Overwatch, and enemy fights last.
Yep.
Very good.
And -1 to hit
plus,
in melee. No, -1 to hit in general.
No.
When they advance.
When on the advance, and they also get +1 to win rolls on the charge.
Yeah.
They're very good. Striking Scorpions again are very, very good. Mainly because they just, where is it? They got their silly little rule. Sustained assault, isn't it? Each time melee attack is made by this by a model in this unit, unmodified hit rolls
Exploding
for an
sixes.
additional hit.
Yeah. They have the serious case of Wanker's Arm in the entire game.
It's only the Exarch actually has the weird crab claw.
Yeah.
Do they, because the striking scorpions have chainswords, do they get the +1 attack for the chainswords as well?
Yep. Scorpion chainsword. So they get what was it 4 and 5 attacks each with exploding sixes. But what strength 5 AP -1/1. That's why they're taken, because units with exploding sixes, they can put out a decent amount of damage. They're nice. It's just good. Oh, Warlocks now are in the elite slot. Not much to say about them. Toughness 3, 2 wounds, 2 attacks still. But they do big boy smites. And can be taken in units. But if they do, they lose the character keyword.
Yeah.
What else is of note?
All manners of flavor of Wraith now have -1 damage, same as Dreadnought.
Yeah. All Wraith constructs. So that's Wraith Lord, Wraith Guard, Wraith Knights, and the Hemlock Wraith Fighter, the plane, all have -1 to damage baseline. The Wraith Lord has now moved from the heavy support slot to the elite slot.
Yep.
He's lost a wound, but now he no longer has a degrading profile. Yep. Is he worth picking? Still questionable. Wraith Blades are fucking bonkers now.
They're Blade Guard.
Yes, but better because
they're shields.
Yeah.
They have higher toughness than Blade Guard. Let me.
Yes, they're toughness 6.
Yes. 3 up save, 4 up invuln. -1 damage.
-1 damage.
Literally Blade Guard, but better.
Yeah.
And their weapons are the same as well. The Ghost Axe is. No, they're better.
The weapons are better. So the Ghost Axe doesn't give you -1 to hit.
Yep.
And the Ghost Swords give you 2 attacks extra if you take them with the Ghost Swords.
So it's either 7 -3 to flat 2, or 6 -3 flat 1, but you get an extra 2 attacks.
Yeah, but nobody cares about
the axes, then, yeah.
You always take the axes because the axes come with the shield, so they have a 4-up invuln.
Yeah.
And they just Giga Chads in terms of just holding points.
Yeah.
That's what they did.
Really, really nice.
The Voice Guard, Corsair Voice Guard, that's a new unit now. It's for the Corsair guys. It's a really weird mix of units.
It's the fucking kill team box, isn't it?
Yeah, it's the kill team box. It comes with a Psyker in it. It's all kinds of weird. They're okay. Are you going to pick them? Probably not, because you got better things to pick. Wind Riders, still good. Scatter Lasers are now of note because they're heavy 6 at strength 6, 0, and 1. So it's just lots of shots.
Shroud Runners are shit. Shining Spears kind of good though.
Yeah, Shroud Runners are one of the new unit, the unit of Rangers on bikes, whatever, nobody cares. Shining Spears are very, very good in combination with the exile powers they get and all the bullshit. They gained an extra attack now, so they're base 3 attacks.
They're not a joke anymore.
I mean, they were good before. I think I just had really bad luck with them.
Yeah, they get an extra pip of strength baseline though before the charge.
Yeah, the weapons changed a bit. Yeah. They're okay. They're just straight up just okay. Can't complain. Better than before, and they were already good to, sort of mediocre to good, so they just got better. Swooping Hawks is an interesting one. Some of the guys from the Glory Hogs swear by it, and that's because they have assault 4
auto
weapons.
wounding on 6s is nice.
Yeah, they're very, very good.
If you think about Admech with their Radium Carbines auto wounding on 6s,
basically that,
it's that but better.
Yeah.
And they're fast. They're 14-inch move.
Not only that, but they can deep strike.
Yeah.
Keep that in mind. So.
And instead of doing a battle focus move, you can just put them in deep strike after they've shot.
Yeah, they can do bullshit.
Yeah.
They're awesome as a combo piece. Warp Spiders are very good again. They have assault D6 weapons, strength 6, AP -2, 1. What's not to love?
Yeah.
Unit of those 5d6 shots at 5 -2, 1 with
and
blast.
They're blasts. So...
and yeah, they do the weird deep strike and move about. They're awesome, just awesome. And now for the heavy slot. Fire Prism we discussed. They no longer have the rule to shoot twice if they don't move, but the amount of shots has just been doubled baseline. And their profile has just been juiced up. So either 2 shots at 14 minus 5, 3d3, 3d3 shots at 6 minus 2, 2 with blast. They don't have a middle profile anymore, which is fine. Who cares? They're good. 5 prisms are not bad. It's worth looking at the war gear
Falcon...
options they get.
Oh yeah.
Which goes for all tanks. They've been changed a bit, but similar, right? You still got crystal targeting matrix, which ignores modifiers to hit when you shoot. That's changed, and that's really good, actually. That's decent.
Vectored Engines is now an upgrade as well, isn't it?
Yeah, Vectored. They're all sort of, I think it's the same ones, but they just have slightly different effects.
Yeah.
So Spirit Stones no longer is -1 to damage. Now it makes it so
Top bracket.
It counts as double the wounds when it comes
Oh
to
shit. Okay. Right.
Star Engines is now flat 3 extra inches on their move. And Vectored Engines allows them to use battle focus, but it's only once per game.
Yep.
So it's whatever. Not too bad. Fire Prism's okay, but the one that we care about, Falcon, is
the Deep Strike.
Falcon has changed, and he has one very interesting rule. Yes, it's the Deep Strike.
It's
called
now
Cloud Strike.
It's now a drop pod because it can be done turn 1.
Yes, it can be done turn 1, and it's pretty cool. But it has a transport limit of 6, so it's okay. It's okay. It's not bad. Night Spinner is, I think, what I'm gonna be. I'm definitely running 2 of them. They still can shoot without line of sight, but now the profile has been hella juiced up, so it doesn't get
2d6 shots.
Yeah, it doesn't get the extra AP on 6s. It just has flat AP too. So now 2d6 shots are 7 minus 2, 2.
And it's 48-inch range, so it's pretty much hitting anything.
Yeah, it's very fucking good. And you give it crystal targeting matrix, so you don't, ignore hit modifiers. It's fucking spicy.
This is a squig buggy.
Yes, but better. And what's nice about it is sort of an underrated aspect. Those models are very big.
Yeah.
Which means they can deny really well in your backline.
Yeah.
Right? If you got 2 of them, if you position them right, you don't have to keep a lot of chaff in your backline if you're in deep strikes. So I like the Night Spinners a lot. I'm gonna run 2. I'm gonna fucking enjoy it. War Walkers are just fucking good. They're cheap. They still retain their 5-up inform. Don't know why they have a 5-up inform, but they do. They always did, and they're awesome, and they can still take all the different weapons.
And they still have the come in from the side of the battlefield rule as well in advanced positions.
No. They don't come in from the side. You just deploy them. It's a forward deployment.
Oh, okay.
It's still good though. You can still position them in the right place if you need them to. Dark Reapers. We said that they're shit. But I think we need to clarify why they're not as good as they used to be, right? So the whole point of them is the Exarch could pick what is it called? The Tempest launcher.
Tempest, that's it. Yeah.
Right. They still have access to the Tempest launcher, but the difference is, the Exarch no longer has reroll hits of 1 innate, which is not great, and also
they lost ignore penalties to hit.
No, they still get that.
No, they don't.
No, they changed inescapable accuracy. Yes,
costs points to equip now.
Yeah, inescapable accuracy now says each time a model in this unit makes a ranged attack, the target does not receive the benefits of dense cover.
So they ignore -1 to hit.
Yes, but not other modifiers.
Yeah,
and also one of the biggest, I think the biggest issue now is they made it so the minimum squad size is 5.
Yes.
You can't go over, you can't go under. So you can't take 3 units of 3 anymore.
For 3 Tempest launchers, yeah.
Yeah. So, whatever.
They just kind of nerfed them a bit for no real reason.
Yeah. The support weapons are interesting now and worth picking. Mainly for the D cannon, right? It's heavy D3 shots at 12 minus 4 D6 plus 2 with blast, and it can target units not visible to the bearer.
That is what frustrates me.
With extra mortal wounds on
having a 12 minus 4 D6 plus 2 damage weapon that is an artillery piece is odd.
It's, hey, I heard you like squig buggy.
Yeah, this is double a squig buggy. Literally a squig buggy stapled to a squig buggy. But it hits on 3s.
Yeah, it's there to fucking delete.
And it's also a tiny model.
Yes, and you can have 3 of them in a unit. And for very cheap.
Great.
They're very, very good.
They're going to get spammed.
They're very good. Very good. Crimson Hunter. It's a flyer. It has bright glances. Nobody gives a shit. The Hemlock, however, is kind of interesting. I'm not going to lie. I keep looking at the model. It's still expensive. But because it's a Wraith construct, right? It has the -1 to damage.
It's still a Psyker.
It's still a Psyker that can cast 1 power.
And deny 1.
Yeah, it has Strands of Fate. It has Supersonic and Airborne.
Yeah. Has Wraithbone, obviously.
And hard to hit, so -1 to hit.
Yep.
But now it has the weird pod, the Mind Shock pod, which says while an enemy unit is within 12 inches of this model,
subtract 2 to leadership.
To leadership, which is interesting. But the heavy D sights are pretty fucking cool.
How many D sights does it get? 2.
Yes. It's so you get 2 shots.
2d6. 12 minus 4 flat 2.
With blast. And unmodified wound rolls of 6 inflict mortal wounds in addition to their normal damage. So it has
bombs up top.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's interesting.
It is.
It's expensive, but I feel like if the enemy tries to shoot it, they kind of play themselves. Because it can still get you engaged. It's not bad.
It's a distraction unit that is actually a good distraction.
It kind of wrecks anything it shoots.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got a pretty spooky profile.
If it's not dealt with by turn 3, then it's probably made its investment back.
I mean, it can smite to do mortal wounds, right?
Yes.
And it's potentially doing maybe 2 mortal wounds in shooting as well.
Mm-hmm.
On top of the fact that your opponent's probably going to fail a couple of saves.
Yep. I mean, it's AP -4. If your shit doesn't have an invul,
it's dead.
It's dead. With blast, just to meme it up. It's interesting. It's a very interesting unit. I feel like it's underrated at the moment.
It'll be very good against GSC. It'll be very good against Guard Horde lists.
Yeah, it'd be great against Space Marine vehicles.
Yeah, absolutely.
It'll probably be good even when Tyranids come out. It'll be great against the Tyranid Horde.
The only thing I can see against it is that damage 2. Because of all the -1 damage knocking around.
Yeah. How many wounds does it have?
12 wounds, T6, 3 up save, but -1 damage.
And
and -1 to hit.
Yeah, -1 damage.
No invul.
No invul.
No invul.
It's interesting. It's interesting.
Yeah, there. I can't get the words out. I'm getting your thing. It's susceptible to a lot of. It'll die to an auto cannon fairly quickly.
I don't know about that, man. I don't know about that.
-1 to hit kind of doesn't give a shit. Anyway, moving on.
Next up,
Wraith Knight.
The big man, the big boy himself. So what's changed? He's had a few changes.
At long last, you can mix his fucking loadouts.
Yes, you can mix
Thank
its
fuck.
loadouts so you can well, to some extent, right? So it comes by default with the sword and shield, and you can replace the sword with either the
Big gun or the other big
big gun, the medium gun, and then the shield can be replaced with
Only one of the big guns.
the big gun, the big gun. So you can't double up on the
Sun cannon. You can't double up on the sun cannon.
Yeah, you can't double up on the sun cannon, but now you can take a what's it called? What's the big boy called?
Heavy Wraith cannon.
Yeah, you can take a heavy Wraith cannon and a shield if you want.
Yeah.
It's had some other changes. So it's gone down 2 wounds. It is a Wraith construct, which means it gets -1 to damage inbuilt. It has a baseline 5-up invuln now, which is pretty
Thank
fucking
God.
saucy. And the scatter shield gives it a 4-up. It's lost the stomp from its feet, so the Titanic feet no longer.
It's just 5 attacks.
Triple attacks.
Yeah.
It's just 5 attacks at 8 -2, 2. It does have an extra attack baseline, so it's up to 5 attacks. But the Ghost Glaive now is pretty fucking mean. Strength 14, AP -4, flat 6 on the strike, or
15
strength
attacks.
8 -3, 2 on 15 attacks. So the sword takes over the feet now, but you have to pick the sword. It's interesting.
The heavy Wraith cannon is D3 shots, strength 16, AP -4, D3 plus 6 damage, and unmodified wound rolls of 6 inflict D3 mortal wounds in addition.
Yeah, it can push some damage.
Yeah.
It is a bit more expensive.
Yeah.
I'm tempted to run it. I can't remember. I think it's a bit more expensive than before, so I think it's like 400 points or so. The points cost depends on what weapons you
on the loadout, of course.
Is it gonna see competitive play? No. Is it fun to put it in a webway
It's
with a
400
sword and
points.
Shield? Baseline, isn't it? Yeah.
400 points baseline. The heavy Wraith cannon's 30 points. The Star Cannon's 15. Sorry, not the Star Cannon. The Sun Cannon's 50.
Yeah.
Whereas the sword and the shield is free. So if you replace either the sword or the shield, it's 30 points for the heavy Wraith Cannon or 50 points for the Sun Cannon.
But you can only take one Sun Cannon.
What about the shoulder blaster things?
They are 5, 10, and 15 points each.
Yes, 5 for the scatter lasers, 10 for the...
Shuriken
I think
cannon.
for the shoulders, one thing we haven't
Shuriken
mentioned
cannons?
is the Shuriken cannons had a pretty saucy glow up. It's now heavy 3 at 6 -1, 2 with the Shuriken rule. So one rolls.
It ignores the heavy factor, doesn't it? It makes no difference.
Yeah.
Fucking Titanic, so it's 3.
Yeah, it's an interesting. I want to put one in Deep Strike and shit it out through a webway game.
Yep.
That's
100%.
my fucking dream with a sword and shield, and people just have to deal with it. Wave Serpent, it's still pretty fucking good because you put 10 Howling Banshees and Janezar in it, and it scares people.
And throw at the enemy.
Yep, it's solid.
And it's got a 5-up
the...
invuln with the Wave Serpent shield.
Yeah, it's lost the you can't give it the weird -1 to damage anymore. But it's whatever. It's not bad. It's okay.
Webway Gate. We've spoken about it already.
Auto take.
Yes, it's pretty much. I wouldn't go as far as auto take, but it definitely has a lot of play potential. So now it can no longer be targeted. It's classed as scenery. It's classed as terrain. So you drop it in. It's classed as terrain. Things can come out of it within 6 inches of both arcs, and they can come out of it within engagement range and within 9 inches. And if they come out of it within engagement range, if your opponent is dumb enough to just sit next to the webway, it's classed as a charge for the rules purposes. It's crazy. It's fucking amazing. putting that in the center of the battlefield and basically just claiming center from turn 2 onwards. It's wow. Can't wait to play it. I bought mine. I'm painting it at the moment. Yes, please give me.
Only way to actually deal with it is to somehow
You have
turn
to
one, get enough models around it so you can't use it to deploy.
Yeah.
No, mate. Doesn't matter because I can deep strike within engagement range.
No. But you have to be within 3 inches of the webway gate. So if someone plonks a squad of models within the webway gate and blocks that 3-inch circle, well, 6-inch circle, then you can't.
It's pretty hard to do because the size of the webway gate is huge.
Yeah.
And it doesn't actually specify how you have to put it down. I can put both of the arcs next to each other, not facing each other, just next to each other. That's still classed.
I thought the arcs had to be so many inches apart.
3 inches.
No, they have to be within 3 inches. Of each other. Right? So you can game the way you play them. You don't have to put them as an arc, right, facing each other. I can put them next to each other.
Yeah.
And it's there's ways to game it. It's good. It's really good. Can't complain. And it reduces the cost of
strategic reserves by 1,
reserves as well. So it's pretty nutty. Do you wanna do the Harlequins in Inari as a separate, because we've been going for like 2 hours.
Can do. Yeah, I think so. It's been a while. It's been a long old. It took Art of War 4 hours to go through the entire codex because they went through data sheets.
Yeah, it's a crazy codex.
Yeah, hopefully we'll be able to get a couple of games in within like a month or so.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. That is that. Anyway, thank you everyone for listening. If you're still here with us, feel free to subscribe and like and hate and tell us that we're not playing with our misericordias. We will be available next week at 7 p.m. To play our final 4-week Custodes game. It will be Adeptus Custodes versus Drakari Thick City. We'll have our boy Andy's joining us next week on Wednesday. And either me or Dan will be playing our sort of Custodes to contend against such a disgraceful list. It'd be fun. It'd be interesting. It'll be a very close game, I think. And one of us will be getting in some practice for the GT that we're going to in April. We'll also be doing another podcast next Sunday at 7 p.m. We'll probably carry on with the Harlequins and Inari stuff. And that is that. Feel free to join our Discord if you want to chat with us and post some pictures of models you're painting. We still do it regularly. And that's that. Anything else anyone wants to add?
I do. I'm all good.
My wife left me.
I mean, when has she not?
I know, right?
He's had a lot of wives.
It's the same
way.
She leaves and she comes back.
Yeah.
Comes back and leaves me all the time.
It'd be nice.
That's pretty much it.
It'd be nice to hear, Dan, that maybe it's next week that instead of my wife left me, my wife came back.
My wife came back.
Yeah.
My wife stayed with me this week.
Came back from the shop to get cigarettes.
I know, right? It's pretty good.
Anyway, on that note, good night.
Goodbye.
Godspeed.
Subscribe, like.
Yes.
Love.